And we are live. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. My name is Jessica. I'm with University of the People, and I'm here with Deanna. Hi, Deanna. How are you?
Hey Jessica, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. I'm excited to be here with you today. You have a great story, and I can't wait to share it with all the viewers. Before we hop into the interview, I just want to say a few things about University of the People. For those of you who don't know, we are the first online American accredited U.S. University. We are tuition free. We have over 153,000 students from over 200 countries and territories, and we are growing by the day, which is very exciting. So the beauty of University of the People is you can be, it's online, so you can live anywhere. We accept everyone. We're remote. So I'm sure Deanna will get into how that benefited her. but so it's an amazing model, and it's all volunteer. It's amazing. There's so many people who help make University of the People happen. It was started by an incredible entrepreneur named Shai Reshiv. If you are not following him on social media, I recommend you do, and that goes for University of the People as well. So we're just always trying to spread the word about UO People and to open the gates to higher education to everyone. So that's really our goal. So, with that being said, let's start the interview. Um, Deanna, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Let's start with your story. What inspired you to go back to school after so many years? Where do you live? What's going on? Why don't you? I'll give you the floor. You go ahead and start.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Let's see. So, what inspired me to go back to school was that I was working in a life skills classroom. So that's where I worked with students that needed special education. And then while I was there teaching, the teacher that I worked with, Jerry Ann, such a great teacher. She inspired me to get my degree so I could be a special education teacher someday. And then my brother actually mentioned University of the People to me. He's like, it's a tuition-free school, it's very affordable. And so I looked into it and I was like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I can do it. I'm not sure I'm going to have time. And he's like, just apply. Like, just apply and try it. And I was like, okay. So I applied, and immediately the application process, the credit transfer process, getting started on classes was so easy. Like, University of the People was great at letting me know, hey, you've applied, your application has been accepted. They even offer scholarships at University of the People, which I thought was amazing because the classes already are, inexpensive. And so then I thought that was great. And so then I decided to go back with how seamless it was to sign up. And then the transferring credits was great because I had gone to school right after high school. I went into college, and I had some of my general education done and then some of my core classes for back then. And most of them transferred over to, I think all of them transferred over to University of the People. And so I only had about a year left of school. And with University of the People, I got it done very easily. Which, being able to do it remote is great because I used to live in Washington and then I moved to Oregon. And through the time of me moving, I didn't have to stop school. I was able to continue doing school through that transition. So that was awesome. Currently, I'm in Oregon. And then it's me and my two kids. I have a now 11-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Oh my goodness, you're a busy mom. Well, thank
Yes.
you to your brother and that teacher, everyone who, kind of inspired you along the way. Also, you seem like you're very much of a self-starter, so I think that's also very helpful. You seem very self-motivated. Um, so I read your story on our website actually, and I read that you you went to school as a single mom, you started going back to school as a single mom, and I was just a single working mother, which is very challenging, but so admirable. I love reading stories like this, because you're like a superwoman. And I was just wondering, maybe you could talk about some of the biggest challenges you faced while pursuing your degree and how you overcame them. I think a lot of people are not sure if they can go back to school or start school because of their busy schedules. Maybe they're a single mom, maybe,
Mhm.
they just have a lot on their plate. So I was just wondering if you could share a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, that's a good question. So honestly, I am so lucky to have such a great community of people around me. My family, my friends, they've been very helpful in this journey. So I'm grateful that University of the People was or is affordable, like number one. And then to have people that were there to help me with my kids' childcare, picking up and dropping off for school, watching them so I could do my proctored exams, things like that, really helped me be able to be in school because I couldn't have done it all by myself. Like I did need the help of my people. So great, like I'm so grateful for them. I did talk to my kids about going back to school when I started back at University of the People because I knew that I was going to have to do proctored exams. Um, where I would have to be, away from them, whether someone was watching me online or someone was watching me in person. So I kind of just talked with them about that, let them know, hey, I'm going back to school because they knew that I was that I was a paraeducator because they went to the school that I was uh, a paraeducator at. So they got to see me working with the students and they saw how much I loved it. And I was like, oh, I have to go back to school. Like, I want to be here someday where Jerry Ann is. Like, I want that for me. Um, so I talked with them about it and just let them know, like, this is important to me and they understand. They were so good about it. When I would go into my room, close my door, do my exams, they'd be out there just doing their thing, letting me do what I had to. If I needed them to be watched, my like my sister, my nieces, my nephew, so many people helped me to watch them so that I was able to do the things that I needed to. So I would say having a community of people, having people that you trust and that are there to help you. And even when I didn't, because when I was first starting school and I had to like um, do these exams and stuff, it was nice because I believe one of the people you could do is like a librarian or someone that you don't know personally, but is willing to proctor your exams, which is great. So I was able to do that with some of the people that were within my community and they were able to proctor me and my kids were still like safe in the area. So I didn't always have to drop them off or have them be watched. And another thing that I really liked was if my proctor was available at like 11 p.m. when my kids were asleep and they were willing to watch me do my exam, then we could meet at that time. We could even do it virtually, which was great. So I think it provided me a lot of opportunities.
So you said a few things that I want to expand on. Number one, I'm just curious if you have any advice for like how you built your community. I mean, that's so cool that you have so many people who are willing to help and support. I believe in connection and
Yes.
community like entirely. Like this is everything. Like we are here on this planet to build connections with people. So maybe you could say a few things like how or advice how you manage to build that community. And then second to that, I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the proctored exams for those who are interested in University of the People, but they're on the fence or they're not sure what's happening with the university.
Okay, yeah. So honestly, I my sister is one of my biggest like supporters. She helped me a lot when I went back to work, and then she helped me a lot to watch the kids so that I could work, and then that included being able to go back to school. So I'm just really lucky to have a really good sister. My niece, she's been so helpful as well. Uh, she's also there for me. Both of my nieces have been there for me to help me with the kids if I needed it. My nephew, he's been great. Like when I need a babysitter, he'll be like, yeah, like I'm there. He'll come here and watch the kids so I can do what I needed to. I really think that even with maybe just thinking about how grateful I am to have these people, and even when I didn't live near home, when I was still in Washington, um, I made some really good friends there, and they were willing to watch my kids for me as well, so I could do exams or go to school or, whatever it was I needed. And asking for the help is important. I think that's a good thing, just to be willing to ask for the help, because you know I know that I needed it. I still need it till this day. I still ask for help. Like, I've just been lucky to get to know people and build good relationships with them. And I love to tell people how grateful I am for them, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that I can now as a single mom. So for me, I think asking for help, reminding people how grateful you are for them, and then just being grateful for life itself. I think that's something I've come to learn, is just to be grateful for all of the things that I do have and the people that I have, and things like that. Um, and then for proctored exams, um, they were kind of scary when I first started, because I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds creepy. Like someone's going to be watching me while I'm taking a test. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I had to do it because it was part of University of the People's program. So let's see, I'm trying to remember my first proctored exam. I know I did some of them online with like the camera, and you have to like put their name and their information in, including their email. So you have to ask someone first, then you put the information into University of the People before you start before you start your class, actually. And then if your proctor gets approved, then you're able to go through the class. And then once it's time to take your test, you just reach out to the proctor, let them know a time and a day. I did a lot of virtual because, again, it's flexible for me and I'm able to do it anywhere at any time. And so I reached out to one of my managers before, one of the people at the school I worked at before, and just kind of was like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. I want to go, I want to get my degree. Would you be willing to proctor me online? You just have to make sure that like my area is clear. I don't have anything on me. And they were really great at it. They did what they were supposed to do. I was able to take my test. I think I passed most of them. They were hard.
Right, so that's really great information. By the way, I live from a place of gratuity, or I try to live from a place of gratuity, and it really makes all the difference. I feel like this could be like a motivational video of Deanna talking. So you mentioned talking to your kids before starting your education journey. I'm just curious, how did you involve them? How did you engage them? They're so lucky to have such a great role model. I'm just curious how they were really a part of that.
Let's see. So again, I kind of let them know. Well, I did let them know, because when my first week of working in a life skills classroom was pretty scary. It was really hard. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Then more time went by and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like, this is amazing. And so I'm like, I really want to go back to school. I talked to my brother a lot about it. He kept encouraging me to just check out University of the People. Finally, I signed up, and then I told my kids, like, I love that I get to work here at the school, and I love what I get to do. And I still want to create a classroom that allows the students to feel like they belong, especially with special education, because it could be really hard for them. And I talked to my kids about that. I was like, some of the kids in this classroom have kind of been put on the back burner because of the way that they learn. And I want to be somebody that can help them. And I want to be somebody that will be there to remind them that they do belong here, that sometimes not being nonverbal is so difficult, right? Like, I always think about getting like losing my voice and how hard that is for me to not be able to talk. So I can only imagine, always being nonverbal. Like, that would be hard. And to not know how to communicate with somebody would be so difficult. And so I want to be able to create a classroom where it's like, we can all learn a universal language. We can all learn sign together. We can do like the pictures. And I talked to them about this, and I'm like, I want to be someone that can do that. So I have to go back to school. They were like,
Wow,
okay.
so cool.
And then I incorporated them with my school because everything I learned, I talked to them about, or I'd be like, it's so crazy. Did you know this? Did you know that? I learned a lot about public health with my health science degree. And it was crazy to see how things work in the world and why they work the way they do. So I would talk to the kids about it, like where we lived. I'd be like, oh, there's a park nearby because it's meant for families to be able to walk there and go get exercise and get outside. And like there's schools nearby because, we want children to have their educations, and there's stores nearby so we can go get our groceries, and like the things that I learned along the way I would talk to them about. And then studying, when I would study, I'd be like, hey guys, I need like 30 minutes to go here and like just sit in the room and study by myself. And I would, and they were great about it. They were very understanding. Obviously, sometimes they would still come in and be like, Mom, can I have a snack? Or like, Mom, can I do something? Like, okay.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, I just kind of involve them in it as much as I could. And University of the People really talked about how when you do have a family already and you're going back to school, to incorporate your kids in like cooking and cleaning, or like the things you have to do. And so it really did kind of open my eyes to that and be like, oh my gosh, I should have them cook with me more. And so now we cook together still. Not all the time because they're not always in the mood for it, but since opening up that door, like it's nice because now we will. My daughter asked to cook breakfast and dinner sometimes. My son will ask to help with breakfast and dinner. My
So
son will
cute.
actually make the breakfast on his own sometimes.
What's your favorite thing to cook together?
Oh my gosh. Together, we actually recently, I don't know if you know of the show Bluey.
I've heard about it. I don't actually know what it is though. I don't have kids, so I'm a little
Oh,
bit
okay.
lost in this area.
Bluey is like it's a cartoon for children. It's a really good cartoon. And in it, they make this thing called pavlova. And everyone's
Okay.
like, it's a whole episode about it, about eating pavlova and edamame. And my kids already eat edamame, but we've never had pavlova. So we made the pavlova together.
Oh, that's so cute. And
Yeah.
so they were part of the process, and they learned oh, you're a good teacher. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the interview that that you did study health science,
Mhm.
and I'm just curious. You know, you mentioned at the beginning about the transfer policy being pretty easy, the flexibility helping you out. Maybe you could expand a little bit for those who are curious about the process.
Yeah, so for so I know when I signed up, there was a fee for the like application, but it was very minimal. And then there was a fee to transfer credits over, but again, very minimal. And then and it was pretty easy. I think I just had to get my transcripts from my previous college and then send them over to University of the People. And then I believe they kind of like put everything together and they're like, okay, these are the credits that could come over. And then these are the ones that couldn't. And then they took a lot of my general education classes, which was great because general education was the one I didn't really want to do. I really wanted to get into my core classes. So most of my general education classes transferred over. And then I still had to do a few. But yeah, the transfer process was great. I just, put in my application or my previous college experience. And then University of the People let me know what I could bring over.
Okay, so did you feel like the process was pretty easy, pretty seamless?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Very easy.
Good. And what about the flexibility? I know we all know you're a busy mom and you were studying online, so you did have flexibility. And how did that work for you?
It was amazing. So a lot of times University of the People's great with kind of teaching you all of this stuff, to be honest, because I got, when you start, you get like a handbook. And I think one of the first classes you have to do is an orientation class. And in that class, it really talks to you about the importance of time management. And So one of the things I learned was, okay, early in the morning, if I get up early enough, I can do studying. Not for me. I'm not a big morning person.
Uh,
But then the other one was kind of like, hey, maybe try chunks of time, throughout the day. If you have like 30 spare minutes, try doing a little bit of studying for those 30 minutes. When you're in between, one thing or another, like just do 30 minutes of this, 20 minutes if you can. Try weekends and nights. And that's what worked best for me, was nights and weekends. So mornings was work, evenings was with the kids, and then nights was for me to do schoolwork.
oh
So
my goodness,
uh,
you are so scheduled. It's amazing.
no, I'm not. I swear. It just it
I
just so it sounds really good and it sounds really great, but truthfully, it's very, very, I mean, it's hard. Like it's not easy at all. And I don't ever want it to sound like, oh my gosh, like I did it in the snap of a finger, because I
No,
didn't.
no,
It took a
no
lot of
one. I
time and
don't think anyone thinks it's easy, but you make it look easy because you were so good at it.
oh my
um,
gosh.
you kind of touched on this before, but I just want to like circle back on why you chose health science and how
Mhm.
does that connect to your work in the life skills classroom? We kind of touched it a bit.
Yeah. So when I first started, I was just kind of like, okay, out of the options that I had, health science seemed like the best one. And I was like, I'll try it, see how it goes. If I don't like it, it's not the worst, because it's not like I'm spending like thousands of dollars right now. So I knew that I was going into it kind of like just stepping my foot into health science to see if I liked it. And I absolutely loved it. Learning about public health, learning about community. Um, and the videos that we get to watch for these classes are amazing. I mean,
Oh,
to yes, they do a lot. They did a lot of TED Talks, which I really loved, because it was people that are passionate about what they do, and I got to see the importance of like, when you're working with somebody, and you want to ask more than just what's wrong. Okay, so you don't feel well, that's okay, so, take some medicine. It was
right.
very much about like, oh, um, well, where does the person live? What is their home life like?
Mhm.
How often are they able to get out of their house? Are they sick all the time? Like, is this a constant reoccurring issue? Because it's probably more than just, oh, take a little bit of medicine and you'll be fine. It's about the person themselves. And so that really was mind-blowing to think of, because I'm like, in one of the videos, they talk about how most doctors are just quick to like, what's the problem? Here's a fix, just go. And then it reminded me of a doctor that I had that was just totally amazing. He asked me, where do I live? He asked me how often I get out with my kids. He had asked me all these really like different questions that I'd never heard before. And I'm like, this is very random. Like, I don't know. But it felt so nice to talk to a doctor that cared
Right. It's
more
like
about.
it's like very humanizing, I think.
Mhm.
And you feel
Yeah.
seen. You probably felt very seen.
Yes. And universe and the classes, that's what they talked about a lot, was how important it is
Oh,
to be there for somebody, and more than just, okay, what are you here for? Let's get it over with. But like, hey, how are you? Like, let's get to know you, and how often are you at the doctor's? How often, not, I don't work in the healthcare field, specifically like doctors, nurses, or anything. Um, my current job is with individuals with developmental disabilities. And so I still do get to work in that field of healthcare, which is nice. So it really did help me there too, to kind of think more of the big picture, not, okay, what am I here for? And let me just
mhm.
get my job done. But, who is this person? How can I help them with things more than just what we're here for? How can I make them feel seen and cared for, you know,
Yeah,
outside, and not just, oh, I'm here to do my job and leave.
right, right. It really makes such a difference.
Mhm.
Um, so moving right along, our questions. What did you learn at University of People that changed the way you approach your job and support the people you work with? Maybe you just touched on it a little bit.
I did, yes. It's
Yeah.
definitely the yeah, making someone feel seen. I think the way you worded it was great. Like, it really does, when you make someone feel seen, it's a big difference in how they work with you, building that rapport and letting them know that you care about more than just the job that you're here for.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really sounds like you genuinely really care about what you do, and it's so wonderful to see. And it's very clear that you enjoy what you do, and you really care about people. Um, so you mentioned adapting a more holistic approach. Can you share a specific moment when that made a difference?
So this one's hard for me because I feel like it just kind of incorporates throughout my life. So going back to like the people that I support and thinking more about where they come from, what their home life is like. So sometimes when I encounter someone that I'm working with, and I notice that, you know, maybe today's a little off or something's a little different today. They seem a little more upset or a little more tired. I try to be more personal, but not too personal, right? I just want to open up the door for like, hey, like how did things go yesterday? How was your weekend? Kind of showing them that I care and that I want them to know that, hey, I'm here, you know, is more than just your coach. Like I'm here to also, you know, we can chat, we can talk. How can we have a better work day? It doesn't always work. Like sometimes, you know, I try really hard and it's like, okay, can't really help today. That's fine. I'll take a step back. Like, you know, I'm
Yeah.
here if you need me. But it really has opened my eyes to wanting to be um, more thoughtful in in every situation that I'm in.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I love that. Also, I think it's important to just like, and you do this, like accept people for where they're at, and that's
Yes.
really important. Even though sometimes you're like, what? It's
Yeah.
probably not easy to do all the time. Okay, shifting back to your academic experience, I'm just curious how your experience at University of the People, how your experience there was with writing essays, doing research, peer discussions. How did this shape your confidence or your mindset?
Yeah. Oh man. Doing research was great. It was hard, but it was really fun. University of the People, I'm trying to think back. I want to say they have a library, right? And it's like a huge library. It's online. And when you have certain classes, you have to, I know my health, the like core classes like biology was really hard.
Oh my goodness,
um,
I would fail for sure.
no, no. Honestly, University of the People sets you up for success. They really do.
Oh,
They
that's
want you.
cool.
Yes, they want you to learn and they want you to get your degree. So if you were to just kind of like try it out, it's worth it. Like they do set you up for success. So one of the things they talk about too, like when you're in these classes is, okay, so this is how you're going to go find research for X, Y, and Z. And so there would be a library you could go to, and then you would look up what you needed and you would have to find it in there. And then you'd have to go through like articles and try to like, you know, piece it all together. But it also was great because even what was in your actual like online book, what you would read, um, it would be great. There would be great information there to help you. So the research itself was very hard, but it was fun to like learn how to find
Yeah.
information. Oh, and then teaching me how to like make sure that I was finding information that was accurate. So using University of the People's Library would get me to where I knew I was finding good information, like correct information. Um, and so the research aspect was difficult, but grateful for it because it helps me now. Um, Even when I'm just searching up like my own things, I'm like, oh my gosh, let me make sure I'm looking at a reputable site. um, so the
But that's
research was
cool.
great. Go ahead,
No,
sorry.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll save my question.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and then the essays itself was great. It helped me learn. I had to relearn APA formatting, which is great because it helps me again just continuing in life to be able to use that information. Um, and then peer assessments, like when we would grade each other's paperwork, that was always really great because it would kind of give, so I would write my own essays, right? And have to turn them in and then read someone else's. And it would be so crazy to see how we had the same exact homework, but we had such different responses to it, and to see how other people kind of pieced this together and how other people learned the same things, but just got to it so differently. So I really enjoyed that because it gave me some insight on, oh, next time, like this is what I will think of, or next time, this is a great thing to incorporate. And then peer discussions. Um, those were fun when we would engage with each other. If somebody would ask a question that was, and then we would answer and go back and forth, kind of would be great. And to kind of see again, just into other people's minds and the way they got the information from what we were learning, and then was like, here, this is what I know. And it's like, wow, I wouldn't have even thought of that.
Yeah. What I was going to say is that I think it was also fun for you because you were interested in the topic.
Mm,
Uh, like, sometimes you get lost in the work, which might be like a little bit of tedious work, but it's like kind of enjoyable because you're learning or you're interested in the topic. So that was just what I wanted to say as you were speaking.
yeah.
So tell us, Deanna, what are you up to now? I know you're studying. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and how you got to this point. I'd love to hear more.
Yeah. I do agree with what you just said because I had to take a nutrition class too, really hard, very hard. Again, they set you up for success. I passed, but man, that was a hard class.
Yeah,
And it was really hard to get
all
that
these
information.
science classes, I would be like anxious and freaking out.
Yeah. Um, but let's see. So what am I up to now? Now I am back in school again. I'm going this time for my bachelor's degree in special education and elementary education. Um, I started, I think, 2 months, 3 months after I graduated from University of the People. I was ready to get right back into it. Um, and then I'm so sorry. You asked me what I'm up to now. That's all I could think of is school. I do love going to school, and I think that's why it's exciting for me to teach because I really enjoy
That's so
being able to
amazing.
do that.
You're like such a natural student.
Thanks.
Um, and what would you say to those out there who feel like maybe it's too late to go back to school or they're unsure if they can do it? Specifically, maybe parents who have kids and families and work lives. What would you say to
Yeah.
them?
To be honest, I was so hesitant to start at University of the People because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I don't have the time? What if this and what if that? And truthfully, I took the step and I was like, health science, kind of nervous, never done anything like this before, don't know if I'm gonna make it. And I'm so grateful I did it because it turned out to be great. I got my degree, I'm still in school again. So I would say just try it. It's not it's not the biggest, like, how would I say that? You're you're gonna take a leap of faith, right? And you try it out. And if it doesn't work out, one class, no harm. Okay, decided I don't want to do it. But truthfully, once you're in there, you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then you're gonna want to keep going.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so one final question. Looking back, what are you most proud of during your time at University of the People?
Oh man. I'm most proud of the time and dedication I put into the school. I'm so glad that I was able to set aside time and be able to study and learn. And um, I'm just glad that I had University of the People as an option, and I was able to study and to learn here. So I'm most proud of going back to school and getting my degree.
That's amazing. Well, Deanna, I think you're fitting in this interview as your kids are sleeping, and I feel like they might wake up soon. So I want to let you go. I know
Okay.
you're a busy mom. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time. Anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
Um, I don't think so. Maybe just, if anybody's interested, just try it out. Hopefully you will. The University of the People is great. Jessica, thank you so much for reaching out to me and wanting to interview me and ask me these questions. I feel so grateful. So thank you for that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel so grateful that you accepted and made time for me because I know you're really busy and you have a lot going on. So that's actually a nice segue. If anyone has any questions about the admissions process, you can write a comment below. You can send an email to admissions@uopeople.edu. You can message us on any social media platform. So that's it. That's all we got for today. Deanna, thank you again so much. I really appreciate it. And
Thank
I hope
you.
everyone has a really lovely day wherever in the world you are. So thank you so much. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.